So I really would like to hear from you. I'm sorry I can't be with you now. I wish you all the best, and bye-bye. Hi, I'm Eugene Deitch. I was hoping I was going to be with you, but it didn't work out. I heard from colleagues who were with you last year that the hospitality was fantastic, the food was great, and great people and wonderful country to see. But here I am in my little working studio in Prague, hoping in this way at least to communicate with you somewhat. I'm 85 years old now, but I can remember a lot in the history of animation, and especially when I was a kid raised in Hollywood. The entertainment of the time for me was comic strips in the daily newspaper, adventure dramas on radio. Television, of course, was just science fiction. Sometimes it was somewhere far in the future. And what we had then, the most exciting thing we had then was on Saturdays. Every Saturday morning or afternoon, there would be a so-called matinee at the movies. And going to the movies in those days was that was the great fantasy life. That was the great experience. And I got 15 cents from my parents to go to the movie. 10 cents was the price of the ticket. 5 cents would buy me a candy bar or a little bag of popcorn. And for that, you get to see maybe 2 feature films. There'd be a travelogue. There would be some kind of a short comedy. There would be a newsreel, of course, and there would be a serial, adventure serial. You'd see 1 chapter a week, and then 2 or 3 cartoons. And that was, for me, my red meat, seeing those cartoons. After all, I was already drawing as I was a kid, and I was hoping to be a cartoonist, and my dream was to become an animator, because there I was, right in the middle of Hollywood, where it was all happening. And so times changed, of course. Now, later, much later, when I finally grew up and I really got into animation, by that time television was starting, and television had all the cartoons on it, had all the news on it, had all the documentaries, and had the travels and the entertainment. And so the movie theaters just had to drop all of those features. The short cartoon just disappeared from the screen. And Walt Disney was the one right in the middle of the 1930s when he realized that cartoons would be dead unless they could be made into a feature length and be a feature on a film program, because short films were out. And so naturally he started working on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I happened to see the premiere screenings of it at the Pantages Theater in Hollywood. And of course it was a great thing. What he did was he added shadowing, he added multiplane, he added all kinds of realistic effects. And from that moment on, the goal of animation features was nonstop aiming to be more and more and more realistic. Until today, in the computer age, and I love technology, and it's amazing what they can do. It's theoretically possible, even right now, to make a computer-generated film that looks exactly like a live-action movie with real characters and so on. But the question there is why? This is almost the end of the line of creativity. If animation finally gets to be exactly like a live-action film, well, where do you go from here? Now, I started my career in a studio in Hollywood called UPA that had exactly the opposite philosophy. Their idea was that drawing goes back to the beginning of humankind. People, men and women, were painting on walls in caves and scratching pictures in stone, drawing and hieroglyphics in Egypt. Drawing is really a part of human history and painting, and it really cannot be stopped. And it's traditionally the basic origin of animation. Animation was always drawn. And now we're in danger of seeing it smothered. There are very, very few drawn animation films on the big movie screens now. And I'm using the term drawn animation because I really resent the terms that have sprung up in recent times. What we are doing is now called 2D. That means it's wide and high. And what the computer-generated films are doing is called 3D. And of course, that's all nonsense. It's all projected on a flat screen. It doesn't matter whether it's a computer-generated or drawn animation. It's on a flat screen. The impression of depth is strictly psychological and manipulated. In drawn animation, we can also get effects of depth. So I don't want to be called a 2D animator. I want to be called a drawn animation director. That's what I want to do, and I think that the philosophy that we had at UPA Studios was that drawn animation is completely unlimited. The entire world of graphic arts can be animated. It doesn't matter what kind of painting style it is. Everything that can be drawn or painted can be animated. So I really would like to hear from you. I'm sorry I can't be with you now. I wish you all the best, and